This is another video just off the fly that I want to do real quick because I haven't had time to think this through, so I apologize if it's kind of scattered. But anyway, the thing I was thinking about a lot is that I'm showing this for a reason, all these shorts, because I love animals and I love the cute videos and things like this. But what I don't really appreciate is that so many people use animals to idolize themselves. Now hear me on this, because it's very interesting in this really weird puppeted world of fake and fantasy that everybody wants to be a star. But they actually, someone's really cool, I love animals too, love every darn one of them, and I just adore them. Sometimes I tell people I'd rather live with the animals than these people, because at least the animals, you can understand their behaviors. They tend to have unconditional love like dogs do, and animals, they're like almost more advanced in far as companionship and relationship than people are, because the people just tend to be selfish and it's all these things, so we need to go down that route. But so my point is this, is that I find it amazing that you have all these animals that, they become idols. I mean, some of these pick up 1.5 million views. I'm like, wow, right? So they're animals, so that it makes them, become idlers. Now, like even this lady here, I don't know if this is one of the fox, but how she's got her face in there, which is cool though, because they're kind of family and they're together. So I'm not judging. I'm just trying to explain to you how idolization, even through animals. But some of them I do have problems with, because I've seen some that they put their animals under dangerous situations, and other ones where they put their animal, they train them to behave a certain way when they're actually not. You know what I mean? I've almost seen abusive stuff where some people, it surprises me. I'll see like 1,000 comments of an animal, I don't know if you've seen these, that they did some kind of trick or some kind of thing where they put the animal in danger, or you can tell the animal is being abused because it has sad eyes, being yelled at, and they'll claim that the animal was, it's just being a bad, that they feel shame. Well, probably because they're feeling shame and hurt because you've done it so many times and hurt their feelings, that you've been abusive emotionally to your animal, right? And so my point is that it's kind of disgusting how this has manifested itself so hard into this world that, but then like I said, there's other great things that at the same time it's to see us enjoy and understand the compassion, how much intelligence animals have. It's like everything is good and bad, right? There's going to be people good and bad that use their animals and abuse them, right? So back to that, though, So I'll see like I see 1,000 comments about laughing, oh, that's so cute, this and that. And then you look through it, because I have better discernment, because I can see things even with people that 1,000 people will say that this person will do something cool, or their behavior towards, let's say a police officer or just a soldier or somebody else, and they'll say that's cool, right? And they did, and all of a sudden you dig into it and say, no, they actually were utilizing that for idolization or being a smart aleck or insulting the person. You can read right through the garbage, right? So, and it's all comment. I'll make a comment sometimes in these, and then there'll be somebody that understands me and say, oh, you're absolutely correct. Or I'll see one comment out there out of 1,000 saying, hey, that's wrong. That's inappropriate to do that to that animal or such and such, right? And it's amazing how there's only like one out of it. That's how this world is. It's like even you, brothers and sisters, my friends, there's only, we see through all the garbage world, right? And, we saw that how fake it is. The politics have gone crazy, how the world's just total BS. But, but you see, and then all these people are so indoctrinated into the system that they can't read through the garbage, even these animal treatments, right? Okay. So you see one person. So I'm like, oh, that's a true, real human soul being right there. So I don't know, but see, I don't know if there's any more in here, but it's just so bad that the social media, I don't know what this is about, the bear, putting his arm on this guy or whatever, even. I don't know. I'm not going to go in there, but I don't mean to go on about it. It's just another witness and exposure of our reality, that everybody's into wanting to be, they're crying for attention, want to be a star. Now, I'm going to head something into the human realm of this real quick, and I started to make this so long. I want to be fast in this on this video. Now, I saw that even when I was a Little League coach with baseball, that you'd see other coaches that felt like they had failed or didn't succeed themselves in their sporting adventure when they were younger, right? So they would take it on the kids. They want to make their kids a star. And they'd be abusive, really abusive to their son. Okay, just horrible. Even with the football, I did not do any coaching with football, but my son Kyler did. And we had a coach that was just horrible to his son. I mean, just, nice guy. I mean, greatest guy you'd ever talk to. You'd never know. You wouldn't see the abuse again there to his own son. Just the nicest guy, looked like a model dad. He's just a little bit competitive, but you know what? He put that kid through so much mental torture that this kid he would actually cry if he was a quarterback, if he threw a ball, and missed a play or something that the coaches had told him to do. It's all okay to have compassion like this young gentleman have, because that's what drives us towards glory or being successful. But the point that he would actually throw tantrums and cry and bang his fist on the ground in the grass, that and you could just tell that the abuse was from his dad was very intense, because I'd heard through the grapevine from the other parents that are closer to the coaches and some of the coaches that he would literally make his son starve to drop weight to be in this position for a quarterback and do all these things, just not starving and doing unusual things. Now, I'm not saying it's okay not to starve to make a position, but just you could tell the background treatment in his home that we didn't have a window into had to have been really rough for that young individual. And that's why you hear these crazy cases where, that was a great family, but then you hear about a son or even a brother of somebody like him committing suicide later on because the stress and the pressure from their parents gets too high. And as I said, it's called living through your children. And you'll see all the time, sometimes soccer moms do that. They live through their children to push the daughter beyond her limits, to, make her, they got her in ballet, they got her in piano and all these, like 10 million things at the same time. Cheerleading, all these things at the same time when that child is pushed to the edges, right? They're not making a good balance between their extracurricular activities and their growing in life and education. It's a balance. Everything is life. So see them push them really hard. And I have a family member, I don't want to mention her name, that used to do that very hard to their children, okay? And it's almost sad because even one of the relatives, the husband to this lady, would actually said, you got to cool it down because I'm worn out, hauling them all over the place, and the kids are worn out. They're done. They're getting burned out. And that's what sometimes happens, too. You'll burn that kid out where they lose interest in everything at some point because they've been pushed so much, right? Because they're only children. So don't live through your children. This is my message to this world of people, and if you have children, do not live through them because they got to grow and be themselves, and and God will be helping them. So you just use an analogy that we're here. Picture a bow and arrow, right? And I actually got this from another preacher or whatever. Let's just say a messenger or whatever, with through the course of the spiritual from our God and stuff. Well, so you got to picture a bow and arrow and a target. So we're here to try to put our children on target to God. That's that center little red dot on that bow and arrow on that thing. So pitch it out. So you pull back and put your child and try to point it to it, and they're going to be that arrow trying to get there to that target. So you got them all lined up. You do the best you can. You got head on. I mean, you got your child. You said, yep, turn a little left. You got this little wind drift over there, and it's dead on, right? So then you release that bow and arrow, and your child comes out of there as that arrow towards that target. Okay. Well, guess what? With the world, the wind, you know, the drift, and all of a sudden there's things you didn't compensate. Maybe a dust thing comes up. I got to plan that. So dust thing comes up or whatever, right? And so here's the thing. It gets off target. So that's where you got to give it to God, the angels, the Lord, and the rest. Sometimes you have to let go and let them take care of it. I have to remind myself. I do the best I can, but got to remember that I have to let them try to guide it and pray for them hitting that target and do my part, though. You know, still try to coach it, you know, coach that arrow somehow, my child hitting that target, you know, they're moving towards it. And so the part of that wind drift and everything is the spiritual world, God and Lord is smacking that dead center to find God, right? Because we do the best we can. But there's unseens, like I said, a current, wind, drift, dust, some swirly thing happens, and then the thing's trying to get off whack, okay? All right. God bless you all, and I hope you have a good evening or night wherever you're at. Thank you, and thank you for listening to this video, because you guys are awesome. I do appreciate it. It means something to me to know there's other ones out there that care. All right, love you all.